when you start tracking and journaling your stuff, you'll actually see yourself increase faster. You'll break through plateaus because you'll understand that not every day is roses. Welcome to CrossFit East 10's Over the Bar podcast. The goal of this podcast is to answer common questions and encourage conversation between coaches, members, and the community.
I'm here with Rob Stacy. He's the head coach of CrossFit East 10, and today we're going to talk about journaling. We hear you talk a lot about needing to keep track of scores, journaling, scores of workouts, Olympic lifts, 2K row time. Why are we doing that? What's the importance of journaling?
I view your journaling as your homework. So basically what I mean by that is homework. Everybody has to turn in their homework in school. So everybody has to turn in their homework, and they build their homework up in order to do the test, right? So by doing your homework, you're actually learning. You're actually building a process of memorization. You're building a process of understanding the process of why you're doing this, right? By journaling, you also gain value in what you're doing. So what kills me sometimes, and what goes with the other coaches too, is if someone comes to you and says, I don't know what my 1 rep max deadlift is, and you as a coach know their 1 rep max deadlift because you did it 4 weeks previously and you coached the athlete while they did it. And I look at them and say, well, your deadlift was 315. How do you remember that? To be honest with you, how do you not remember that?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
So that means, to me, that's not taking value in what you're doing. So that goes back to one of our previous episodes talking about scaling and beginner and intermediate. And these people are usually the ones that are wanting to jump out of that rut. Yet they don't want to put in the simplest task of writing down what my 1 rep max was. Or
what I did today.
Yeah, what I did today. I didn't feel very good today. I felt like crap today. And then I write it down, and I find out that the next time that I come around on that next Monday or Thursday, that I feel better. I look back at my notes and it says, I felt like crap last week. Now I'm 10 times more set to do my workout today because I'm more focused, because I feel better knowing that I don't feel like I did last week, right? So that being said, talking about why you track that stuff, it's to see your progress. The more data you have, the more you can understand that there's actual progress going on. People talk about plateaus, and then I ask them, have you been journaling? No. Well, then how do you know that you've plateaued? Because you feel like you've plateaued? Yeah. Or have you actually plateaued? Right? Everybody when they start will make huge jumps in their fitness gains, right? With CrossFit. So what that means is everybody when they start comes in 135, we'll use a male, okay? 135 is a tough deadlift. 2 weeks later, that guy's deadlifting 225. The following month, he PRs and deadlifts 300. 4 or 5 months into it, now he's deadlifting 400. From 4 months, you went from 135 to 400. So if you don't log that stuff, how do you know that you've made those jumps? So let's say that guy never logged from 135. Then he goes to the next week and goes, well, I don't know. He just slaps on 225, right?
Yeah.
Then he hits it, doesn't track it. All of a sudden, the next week he hits 225 again. Then he hits 225 again. And then 2 years later, he's still deadlifting 225. And you're asking, what's your 1 rep max? Well, I don't know. I've only deadlifted 225. Well, you didn't take any value. And then the open's rolling around, and you're at the deadlift 225 and the workout 45 times, and you're getting to the 315 bar, and you're going, I've never deadlifted 315. Yet you've been 2 or 3 years into CrossFit. You never know that because you never tracked and you never took the time to care about that. But yet you're looking at the coach and saying, why isn't my deadlift stronger? That's one of the questions that we get as coaches, and it's very frustrating because it's the simplest thing to do.
Yeah.
It takes hard work to build your strength. Or it takes hard work to build your aerobic capacity. It takes time. It doesn't take a lot of time to sit down and just write down what you did that day, right?
Sure.
It takes, 5 minutes?
Yeah,
5 minutes out of your day? So going back to what I was talking about your homework, that's your homework. You got to turn your homework in.
Yeah.
You don't turn your homework in, you're not getting a passing grade.
Yeah.
Same thing. You don't write your journal down that day. You're not getting your fitness increased. You're not taking pride in what you're doing. And people are going to say, yeah, I take pride in what I'm doing. Well, then write down your 2K time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you take pride in what you're doing when you come in, you'll do that. And you'll see, when you start tracking and journaling your stuff, you'll actually see yourself increase faster. You'll break through plateaus because you'll understand that not every day is roses.
And you know your percentages.
Yeah, you know your percentages, right? So we're standing at the board, and I'm looking at 10 people, and I say, all right, you're going to use 70% of your max today. And everybody looks at me and goes, I don't know what my max is.
So for the people that do want to start logging scores. I know we have Sugar Wad. You say journaling. How should we do those? Should you have a notebook? Can you use Microsoft Excel? Is Sugar Wad okay to use? What do you think is the best way, or is there a best way?
You just named three great things. So our Sugar Wad has the ability to put in your benchmarks, has the ability to put in your PRs, has the ability to look back at workouts that were 4 years ago. Probably the best thing to use. That's why we use that app. The next thing would be a notebook, writing down how you feel that day, writing if you don't want people to see all your stuff, your feelings and all that stuff written out. Writing in a notebook is really great. One of our coaches, Coach Kalee, I mentioned this to her about journaling, and she does it every day. Her journal sits at her desk. Don't go and look at it or anything, but unless you asked her. But it sits at her desk, and I watch her write in it every single day. She's had to go through some minor back tweaks, and by journaling, she actually has a prescribed warm-up that she has built through journaling that helps her every single day, and now her back pain's gone.
Awesome.
And it wasn't anything that she changed. She just journaled and wrote down what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
She found out on her own by doing that. Excel's another way that you can do that. It's a little more advanced. I personally would like Excel, where you could actually print it off and see the data in person, but anything that you can get written down for data. And I'm not saying that you have to write down every single PR that you ever had, but it's going to help you.
Now, I know that you said Sugar Wad, we use that. And what do you say to the people that say, I don't want to log my score because I'm embarrassed for people to see my score, or I don't even like to tell Rob my score at the end of a workout because I did so bad, and I'm the very last person on Sugar Wad, so I don't like logging my score. How can we help that person?
It goes back to, why are you doing this? That's always the question that I'll always ask somebody. If you're doing this for fitness reasons and for yourself, which I believe 95% of the people should be doing it for themselves,
then it shouldn't matter.
Then it shouldn't matter at all.
Okay.
Like CrossFit, and our CrossFit in particular, our gym, is about cheering on people and making sure everybody's welcome.
Yes.
Right? Not so much for other gyms. We won't talk bad about other, gyms that I've visited before, and I'm not talking about our area. I'm talking about outside of our area. It's more of a, the leaderboard is a validation that I'm better than you, right?
In life.
In life. Not even just the workout, but in life. And you can't have that culture in your gym.
Yeah.
You can't have the culture of caring so much about everybody's. It's okay to leaderboard. I don't have a problem with it. That gives you drive.
Yeah.
That actually for some people, that makes them more passionate about what they do. That's fine. But you have to also understand that you are your leaderboard.
Yeah.
You, when you write down your stuff, are putting it down on your personal leaderboard. When you document it in your Sugar Wad, or you document it on your notebook, that is your personal leaderboard. And guess who you're beating?
Yourself.
You're beating the person previous day, which is yourself.
Yeah.
So each day that you write something down, you're either beating you're beating yourself from the previous day, or you're losing to yourself. Yeah. And that's all that should matter. For me, I'll use the Open, for example. I get people that message me and show me other people's scores all the time.
Every day.
Every day. And I'm not talking about members. I'm talking about coaches outside this area, outside of our gym that's in this area, people outside this region.
Yeah.
And they ask me, what do you think of this person? What do you think of this score? I have my opinions, just like everybody does.
Yeah.
That being said, it does not deteriorate what I perform and how I perform in the Open, right?
Yeah.
So when I put my score on the Open, as soon as I get done doing my CrossFit workout for the Open, I post my score right then.
Yeah.
And then I validate it right then. Because I don't care if someone beats me.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't beat somebody else. For me, I'm looking at what I've done in my previous years, and I'm saying, am I doing what I need to be doing? Because I know if I keep doing that repetitively over and over again, that the goal that I have in mind will be reached.
So essentially those people shouldn't worry. No one cares except you.
Exactly.
If you're last on the leaderboard, we're not looking at you like, oh, they're last. No, we
I tell everybody this. I value effort way more than I do a score.
Yeah.
You could be the number one person on the leaderboard and give a crappy effort, and I wouldn't really care about you. Now, if you come in here and bust your butt, and I know you're doing the best you can, I value that. I'm a big believer in the simple stuff and a big believer in effort. So that's what you should look at when you're looking at your leaderboard. Like, did I put in the effort? If I did, then my score doesn't matter if I'm at the bottom, right? I'll finish last in workouts. It doesn't bother me in one bit because I know that I gave my best effort. Now, the workouts that I like regret and I get so upset about and always replays back through my mind are the ones I gave up on, or I didn't give my effort that I knew
there
I
was
could.
something you could have done better.
Exactly.
So for the members, bring it every day and log your scores.
Yeah.
Get Sugar One, log your scores.
Yeah, log your score. Hey, if you're wanting to get better, if you're wanting to have pride in what you do, if you're wanting to see the result that you want, if you're wanting to look good, move better, if you're wanting to, look in the mirror and see a stud, if you're wanting to go to the lake and just show off, if you're wanting to go to your 10, 20-year reunion and look like a different person, then this is the things, the little tasks that you have to put in that help you with that in life.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that stuff, you can't really be upset with the results that you're getting, right?
Sure.
If you can't do simple tasks, then you're just not going to get the results that you desire. And you can't be upset about it. Like, the only person you can blame is you.
It's on you.
It's always going to be on you. This is one of those things that we like to do on our podcast. We like to feature our members or our coaches. And this week, we're going to feature one of our coaches, Coach Kalee No. So, how long did you do CrossFit before you started coaching, or how long did you do weightlifting before you started coaching?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm so glad that you guys are doing this. I started weightlifting around 16, but I started CrossFit when I was 14. So I've been doing CrossFit longer than weightlifting. That's how I kind of found it. So I've been doing it longer, but kind of just doing weightlifting and CrossFit, or just weightlifting. I kind of switch on and off.
Cool. So what do you enjoy most about coaching?
I love seeing people get better, one thing. Seeing people lift something that they've never done, or seeing people have a smile on their face, that's something that they really wanted to accomplish, is one of my favorite things to reach people's goals.
Also, if you had one tip that you could give a member, what would that be? What would that tip be?
I would just say to stay through it. I mean, there's gonna be good days and that you're really excited, and that there's gonna be really crappy days. And on those really crappy days, and when you give up and like you just feel like the world is just like on your shoulders, I would just say to like stay through it. Just keep a positive attitude, because it all works out in the end, and you learn like really valuable lessons on those days.
The big announcement we've been waiting to tell people is that you've actually made a pretty serious, nationally known weightlifting team.
Yes.
With Travis Mash and the Mash Elite Mafia.
Thank you.
And
it's been crazy.
For me, congrats. The members are
you.
going to congratulate you too. But talking about those lows and hearing your story of where you came from and the stuff that you've had to go through, it's always more beneficial to have a positive attitude.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, like, through years, I think, of working out and through CrossFit or weightlifting, you're gonna have either a good year or a bad year. Some months are not gonna be good. And so to kind of like be able to be on now like a team, it kind of makes those months and those years that I kind of went through worth it all. And so I couldn't be able to do it without CrossFit East End.
Yeah, so just tell us one thing before we finish right here. What's one of your favorite things to do outside the gym? Besides, get outside the gym, what's one of those things that you just like to do outside of this place?
I'm from Colorado, so I love being outside. I love hiking, water rafting, but a thing down here that I've kind of learned that people like to do in the summer too is tubing. A lot of people don't go tubing in Colorado, but here there's a lot of rivers to go down, and so it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I like to do it.
Yeah, awesome.